Hey guys, it's Al with techmadeezy, and thanks so much for clicking on our video. Well, as you can see, we've got the brand new EcoFlow River 3. This is the third version of this power station. This is the power station that you bring with you. It's portable, it's light, but guess what? They made it smaller, they made it safer, and they made it quieter. And the prices actually come down, which is really, really nice. In this video, we're going to be doing a detailed review. We're going to do a super quick unboxing. We're going to take a good close look. We're going to go over detailed specs. We're even doing testing, especially our refrigerator test. So let's go ahead and get this party started. Hi, this is Al from techmadeezy with a really quick message. The video you're about to watch is sponsored. We received this product from the vendor. But keep in mind, we will be very honest with you as we review the product. That is very important to us. If you like our video, I sure hope you give us a thumbs up. I hope you share our video. And last, I really hope you subscribe and become a part of the family. Thank you. Well, here is a slide on what we're going to be covering in this video. Hit pause if you want to review it, but we're going to go ahead and move on with the video. Thanks. Well, why don't we go ahead and get this unboxed? And there it is. And here is our tiny River 3. I'll adjust the camera. We can look down a little bit here. We do get a car charger. We get a manual, a quick start guide. Then they have an online manual. That's what they've been doing. And you get an AC cord with a label. All right, so you can't make a mistake if you own a couple of the EcoFlow power stations. All right, we'll jump in. We'll take a look at this. So there it is, huh? A smaller version of the original River, right? This is the River 3. But let's go ahead and take a quick peek at the size difference from the River 2 to the River 3. Check that out, huh? So this is the River 2. Obviously, this is the new River 3. So there's definitely a size difference, right? And by the way, we did do a comparison of these two. And I'll put a link in the video description, and I will also put an image up on the screen real quick. If you do want to see the differences between the 2 and the 3, check that video out, all right? But let's continue on with going over the River 3 in detail. So here it is. Let's take a look at it. And while we're looking at it, let's go over some specs. So let's start off in the front. I'm going to zoom in a little bit for you so we can get a better look at the front of the unit. All right. And as you can see here, on the front, you've got this, the display's pretty much the same if you compare it to the River 2. You get a cover for your car charge outlet. All right, so that's nice. And the car charge outlet, by the way, is actually 126 watts. It's 12.6 volt, 10 amp. It's got its own power button there. And then you've got 2 USB type A's in the front. And those are 12 watts. You do get a 100 watt USB type C. So that's an improvement from the previous version. As you can see, you get a 3-prong AC outlet and a 2-prong AC outlet. Again, this is a 300 watt power station with a 600 watt surge. And here's your power button, by the way, right? You want to turn it on. There you go. You want to turn it off. There you go. So again, car charge, AC outlets, all right? And one thing I like too is the color combination. They didn't use a light silver this time. So you've got like kind of a black, and then you've kind of got a, just a nice color combination. As we go to the left, you're going to see they improved the ventilation. So here's your fan. And we'll talk a little bit about this GaN power technology too. That's something that's new in here. We'll cover that later. But the air will actually pass through the unit and come out this side. So the cooling is improved. Again, check that video out, River 2 versus River 3. Now on this side, another improvement, you've got your XT60, and of course your plug goes right in here. You don't have a big power brick to carry around. That's something they haven't done in a long time. I like the way this lays down, by the way, and gets out of the way. That's not an XT60i, by the way. It's just an XT60 port, because this is really a low power station, right? You go to the back, you've got an improved handle, so definitely more comfortable in comparison to the previous series. And I know you're saying to yourself, these are so light. What do you mean comfortable? But when you're carrying this around for a while, that's what this is made for, right? Throw it in your backpack, bring it with you, power your phone, your tablet, your drone batteries, right? Again, flat top, so you could see here, if you're not, you do get the whole top, which is nice. So you can put whatever you want to put on it. We'll take a look at the bottom for a second real quick. There's the bottom of the unit. These are thick enough. They're thick enough, basically. So they will make sure that they don't do any damage if you put them on wood or like a delicate surface. You get your serial number, you get some specs down here. And let's continue to talk about specs real quick. But I like the unit, I definitely find it's a nice upgrade. So MSRP on this is $259. You're going to find some really good pricing right about now, okay? Under $200. We're going to have links in the video description. I might even have a promotional code you can use depending on when this launches. So use our links. If you do, you actually end up supporting our channel, by the way, at no additional cost to you. Again, 300 watts, 600 watt surge. This also has a 600 watt X boost. So 600 watt surge is really like seconds, right? It's not made to last. So this is really a 300 watt power station. X boost, you can run appliances that are about 600 watts, but keep in mind it lowers the voltage, allowing you to run high powered devices. So leave it off for now. Read your manual. It's not compatible with everything. So be aware, all right? This has a pure sine wave inverter. So when you plug, devices into the AC outlet, you don't have to worry. It's clean power. You plug a fan in, you're not going to get a hum, all right? Because normally on a modified sine wave power station, which is rare, you'll actually hear a hum come out of the fan. Whereas in this case, it's clean power. It's probably cleaner than your actual house. If you plug in a projector or a TV, you really shouldn't see any distortion at all, again, because pure sine wave makes a difference. One thing that they improved on this is the UPS. This is now as fast as 20 milliseconds. Again, this is a small battery, but as fast as 20 milliseconds, which is really nice. Battery technology stayed the same. This is a lithium iron phosphate battery. Battery capacity is 245 watt hours. They say it'll give you 3,000 cycles, and then after 3,000 cycles, you'll have 80% left. So that is huge. This also has Bluetooth and it has Wi-Fi. So if I'm in my house, I can control this with Bluetooth if I want. I want to check the battery status. I want to turn off the AC outlets. I can do that. If I connect it to my home internet, well, I can check it remotely. I can be in another country at that point, as long as it's connected to the internet. And, the other thing that the Wi-Fi will do is when you connect this to the app, you can do your firmware updates, which is important. If they find something that needs to be improved, they'll send a firmware update on the unit. All right. They also have, like I said, that EcoFlow app. It's a really good app. It's really the best I've seen. They continue to add so many different features, but let's continue on. So we covered the outlets already, right? Again, real quick, 100 watt USB Type-C, two Type A's, USB Type A. They're going to be 12 watt. Cigarette lighter adapter will be 126 watt. And your solar specs, very important. Your solar, 110 watt max. So 11 to 30 volts, 8 amps. So when you buy a solar panel, you just want to make sure that it is at least 11 volts and no more than 30. All right, be careful because you can cause some damage. All right, now charging this, by the way, and we're going to do a charge test. We're going to bring this down to 0, and then we're going to charge it back to 100%. They're saying that you can do it in 60 minutes, 1 hour. This can handle up to 320 watts of AC power. So when you plug in your AC cord, it'll be able to handle up to 320 watts. All right. And the other thing that this has that's really different and new is the battery pack inside is actually IP54 rated. That means it's dust protected, limited, not fully, but limited, and protected against sprays of water. Now, that doesn't mean the unit is, but that's the battery, okay? They also made this shell. It's a fire retardant shell. So they're just trying to give you as much bang for the buck, especially on the safety side. All right, I'll put the dimensions up on the screen real quick for you. And the weight on this is 7.8 pounds or 3.53 kilograms. And the warranty is a 2-year warranty. That changed also. Again, see that video on the River 2 versus the River 3, because there are some differences. And you do, as you saw in the beginning of the video, you get your AC cord, your car charger, and your manual. So I'm going to bring up a slide real quick and talk about this GaN power. Right? So they're saying it can run appliances and devices that are under 100 watts. It can run them 2 times longer. You got me. I don't know how they're doing it. It offers enhanced heat dissipation, which will prolong the device, by the way, and make it last longer. A much more quieter power station, too, averaging under 30 dB. All right? So pretty interesting. Okay, this is something that I include in every one of my power station videos moving forward. It's called Know Before You Buy. And my goal with this is that you don't go out and buy something that is not going to work for you. All right? I don't want you spending the money. I don't want you to have the headache. And I can tell you how this started. I had a friend that bought a power station, and it was a small one. And because it was a power station, I believe she assumed it would power her coffee maker. And so she was extremely disappointed. And after talking with her, I tried to explain it's more about knowledge and understanding. And so that's why I put together Know Before You Buy, because I want you to think about a few things that I'm going to go over in this section. So let me get started with number 1. Number 1 is, what do you want to power? You have to just stop for a minute and say, you know what am I using this for? Is it for a camping trip? Is it for a road trip? Am I buying this in the case of an emergency if my power goes out? Am I taking this to a cabin that we go to every once in a while? Right? So what do you want to power? Refrigerators, TVs, phones, you may be the internet, a laptop, LED lights. So take a moment, write that down. What do you want to power? Number 2, do you know how much power your appliances and device require? You probably don't. Most people don't. I learned so much in the last couple of years, and I still don't know everything. So I'm going to be showing you an accessory towards the end of this video that I highly recommend you get, because it's going to help you, determine how much power your laptop uses, your TV uses, your phone uses. But let's stick to this page here. So number 2, how much power? So you need to know that, okay? And the other thing is, some of these devices have startup wattage, surge wattage. If you're going to be powering a refrigerator uses wattage, but then it has a compressor that kicks on to make the refrigerator cold. And that can use hundreds of watts, especially older type refrigerators. Let's look at some examples real quick on the bottom. LED lights can use 5, maybe 10 watts. Those are the newer LED lights, right? Laptops can use 100. They could use more. It just depends on how old it is. Is it a gaming laptop, you know? TVs can vary. New TVs use 100 to 200 watts, those thin TVs. But if you have a larger one, it could use 300 watts. If you have an older one, well, those can use like 300-400 watts. And what about a CPAP, right? You know, if you have to sleep overnight and you have to use a CPAP, well, those can vary from 50 to 150 watts, probably more, probably less. Let's take a look at the next section. So here's part 3. How long, right? How long will you need to power the appliances or devices? Now, again, let's just say it's for an emergency, right? Maybe your power goes out once a year for like 8 to 12 hours. Let's use that as an example, all right? But you have to know, or at least have an idea before you make a purchase, because how long really connects with the battery size of the power stations. So let's look at the next slide. So let's put it all together, right? Number 1, what do you want to power? What devices or appliances? Have a list of that. Number 2, how much power do the appliances and devices require? Now, the tool or accessory I'm going to show you coming up is going to help you do that. And number 3, how long will you need to power them, right? Number 3, again, pertains to the size of the battery, right? But number 1, you know, and number 2 really pertains to the power of the unit, because each of these power stations have different power ratings. So here's an accessory that I'm going to recommend. And the brand, don't worry about the brand, because sometimes this brand's not available. I'll make sure links are in the description. But this device here, and I'm going to demo it in a moment so you can see it. I'm going to show it to you. It's real simple. But if you're new to it, you know, it's intimidating, right? So this sells for around $25, and you can connect devices and appliances up to 1,875 watts. So just be aware, or 15 amps. Now, again, I don't expect you to know that, but I have to tell you that because if you plug in, let's say, a 3,000 watt like toaster oven, it's not going to work on this, okay? But let me demo it for you. But what this will do is it will help you understand the wattage that your devices and appliances use. So let's check out the demo. So we're going to do a simple demo, you know, so you know what this device is about. Again, it doesn't cost much, first of all, right? I think it's around $25. And depending on the brand that's available, we'll put a link in the description. But just realize also that you can't plug everything into this. I believe there's like an 1,800 watt limit and a certain amount of amps. Now, I know that's complicated, but if you want to know how many watts your light is using, how many watts your refrigerator is using, how many watts your laptop uses, your phone, this is perfect for it, okay? So this is plugged into my outlet, as you can see on the wall, and now I've got this light plugged in here. So all I need to do now is turn on the light, and let's see how many watts it uses. Now, again, it is on the watt screen, and this does do more than watts, so just be aware, okay? You can actually figure out kilowatts, which is how your electric company bills you, but I don't want to get that complicated. So let me turn the light on. And look at that, we're using 6.3 watts on the LED light. That's really good, right? And again, plug in your laptop, plug in your phone. Again, you'll learn more about the wattage that your appliances use, even your coffee maker. But if this was helpful, give us a thumbs up. It really helps the channel. And we're going to continue on with the review. All right, so you just saw Know Before You Buy. And at the end, we showed you that device that you can purchase so that you can check the wattage of your devices and your appliances. I'm going to put a link in the video description so you can pick that up. If you use our links, you help our channel at no additional cost to you. Now, we're going to go over estimated run times with the River 3. But I want to be honest with you and set your expectations that this power station is small. It doesn't really have a big battery, and it's really made for LED lights. It's made for phones. It's made for tablets. There are some things I have on this chart that I'm going to talk about that it's really not made for. So I will tell you, it's really not made for a refrigerator. But I want you to see our refrigerator test because we got hours worth of use because we have a new, very efficient refrigerator. So let me go over some of this wattage and tell you some estimated runtime. So if you had a small college refrigerator that used about 75 watts, then you can probably get about 3 hours. If you have a full-size refrigerator that uses about 200 watts, you could probably get about an hour. Again, see our refrigerator test. I promise you, you'll be amazed. Now, what if you want to connect your home internet, meaning your router and your modem, and they use 50 watts combined? Well, you could probably get 4 hours. What about a fan? A full-size fan that you can plug in, one of those standing fans for the living room, that uses about 60 watts. You can get about 3.25 hours. LED lights, if it used 10 watts, you could get over 20 hours. By the way, most LED light bulbs use about 5. Now, what about a CPAP? So a CPAP, if it used about 100 watts, you'd get about 2 hours. But most CPAPs use heat and stuff like that. And at that point, it's probably not going to work for this power station if you're going to use heat. All right. Your average laptop is about 50 watts, maybe 75 watts. But if it was 50, you could use your laptop for about 4 hours. If you had an iPad 12.9 inch, you could charge that about 5 times. If you had an iPhone 14, you could probably charge that 16 times. And if you had a Samsung S23, you can probably charge that about 14 times. I hope this information is helpful to you. All right, we're going to do a section I call must-have accessories. Some cool accessories just to kind of show you what you can do with this thing. And before I do that, I want you to look at this item here. Tell me if you know what this is. This is actually a Bluetooth headset from many years ago. I mean, this thing looks like it's on Star Trek, right? Now, the headset's actually on a charger. So it pops out, and that would have gone on your ear. There are still people wearing similar models, I should say. But look at that. This is an Ericsson, by the way. Ericsson used to make a lot of Bluetooth stuff. They actually helped invent Bluetooth. That's a long story. But anyway, I just thought I'd show it to you. So let me show you a couple of things. So if you wanted a light for this, because it doesn't have a light, I've got 2 types of lights. I've got a small USB light that does a good job. This guy. We're going to plug it in and show you. And then I've got this light, which basically means you can angle it. All right. And again, it plugs into USB. And then I've got a way for you to convert these. So if you want to convert USB type A to a type C, I have an adapter. And if you want to convert type C to type A, I have a converter. So let me start off, I guess, with the USB type A and type C converters. I'm going to zoom in. All right, a little noisy here. But what I'll do is I'll zoom in a little more. And so you could see here, you've got 2 USB type A's and 1 type C. But what if you mainly use type C's? Well, they make an adapter that'll actually convert a USB type A into a USB type C. And let's see if I have it. There it goes. So now, check that out. You have another type C. Now, don't get me wrong. This isn't going to be a 100 watt type C. That's 100 watt. This is going to be, I believe, 12 watt. But it's nice. Now, you can do the same thing. If you want to convert the type C because you need the type A, you've got this. So you've got a type C to type A. Again, you plug it right in and boom, you now have 3 type A's. And I don't know about the power on this. I think this is still going to be about 12 watts because we just converted it. I can be wrong, but I wanted to introduce you to that. Let me show you the lights now. This little light here plugs right in to a USB type A. All right. And let me turn off the light. I'll show you the darkness and I'll show you how much it lights up the desk area. I'll be right back. So I'm in a dark staircase. It's the daytime, so I figured, you know what, let me go to a dark staircase and do this light demo. Now I'm going to show you the small light, and then after this I'm going to show you the one that can be angled. But here we are in the dark, and let me press the button and turn this light on. Now when you turn the power station on, USB is automatically powered, so there's no separate power button for USB on the River 3. Let me turn this on. So as you can see, it really lights the area up, right? It's a nice little light. And let's go ahead and check the one that you can angle. I want to demonstrate that for you also. And again, I'll have these links in the video description. All right, now the one that angles is already connected, but it has a power button on the tip of the light. So again, nice and dark. Let's turn it on. And then what I'm going to do, and I'll show you what I'm pressing, is here in the corner, right here in the corner. When you tap this, the light will turn on or off. And now you have the ability to take this and angle it any way you want. So that can be helpful. And I'll take these links and I'll put them in the video description if you're interested in this light or the other one we demonstrated a second ago. We are going to start some testing, just a little bit of testing. So can the River 3 actually make a cup of coffee? To be honest with you, no. And I'm going to say 99%. And why do I say that? Look, there might be a coffee maker that it can power, but I'll be honest, at 300 watts with a 600 watt surge, and 600 watts only lasts for like seconds. This is a Case Supreme Plus, right? Keurig. This thing uses 1400 watts to make a cup of coffee. Now, it's definitely not powering my microwave because that's 1800 watts. So just a little information there. But what about a full-size refrigerator? Can it power, and I know, right, we look at this appliance and we go, this is huge. Can it actually power a refrigerator? You know, our refrigerator is a newer model, so it might. And we're going to try that. So let's go ahead and try. Now, before we do the refrigerator test, I will tell you we just did a charging test plugged into the wall just to see how long it takes to charge. And we're going to share that with you later on. So look out for that if you want to know how long it takes to charge the River 3. We'll show you that in the video. But we're going to go ahead and jump into this refrigerator test and see if it'll work. All right. So guys, this is Sunshine. She's 5 months old and she's very feisty, right? You're a feisty girl. And we're going to do our refrigerator test now. There she goes, always looking for a treat. She's getting big, by the way. Anyway, I wanted to show you before I started the refrigerator test that when you go into the EcoFlow app, you have the ability to power off the device. So if you're connected to Wi-Fi or Bluetooth, right? Obviously, Wi-Fi, you'd be able to remotely manage this little guy. So you can now do that. That's a new feature. And I can go on and turn on the AC outlets, right? So the refrigerator is currently off. And we want to start this test. I want to show you, obviously, I just want to show you the power it's going to pull initially. So let's turn on AC and we'll do it from the app, all right? So AC's on. 7 watts, 108, 156, 162. So we saw a maximum of 162 watts just come out. That's just a startup, right? That's not a, that's not the compressor, So right now it's actually running the unit. It is actually on, right? The unit is cold. It's been on. It's been cold, right? The question is when the compressor kicks on, will it then trip this? right? Now, when my compressor kicks on for this refrigerator, it's less than 600 watts. Now, I don't know how long the compressor takes. Now, I'm going to be honest with you, this refrigerator has been on, so I don't know that the compressor needs to kick on. All right, the time right now we're going to say is 10:16 a.m. All right, we'll see how long we can power this refrigerator. All right. Oh, by the way, I want to give you some information on the refrigerator. So I'm going to put an image up on the right-hand side of the screen with some information on the refrigerator. Of course, you would need this to understand. You know, it is a newer model. It's a 2021. All right, there's the information on the right side of the screen. And let's continue this test. Let's see if we can get a half hour. Let's see if we can get an hour. We'll see how long. About 10:32, about 15 minutes in maybe, and we're using 66 watts. 66 watts, we're 97%. Just wanted to show you, when it was using wattage, I said, you know what, let me record this. So right now it is using some wattage, and we are using the refrigerator as normal as a family. Time for a tip. I'm going to call this one, how do I control the screen? So first of all, if the screen is on and you want to turn it off without turning the unit off, all you have to do is tap it once lightly. All right. If you want to wake the screen back up, hit the button again. Sometimes it takes a second time. Do not long press this button because this is also the power button. So if I long press it, it'll actually turn the unit off, or if I long press it, it can turn the unit on. So just be aware. And you can also do some things in the app which are very helpful. So in the upper right hand corner, there's a little setting button. Click that. What you want to do is you want to scroll down to more settings. All right. Sorry about the glare. So if I click more settings and I hit auto timeout right here on the top of the screen, again, auto timeout, you're going to see that you get a couple of choices. So I can actually have the unit itself turn off. I can have the LCD turn off at a certain point, or if I have the AC outlet on and I want to have it turn off, I can do that also. But let's do the screen. So I'm going to click the screen, and as you can see, it's already set for 5 minutes. You can do 10 seconds, 30 seconds, 1 minute, 5, 30 minutes, and never. You can have the screen on forever, well, until it kills your battery, because the screen does use battery. But let's say I want to change it to 1 minute. I'm going to select 1 minute. But make sure you hit this check button, because if you don't, this little check mark, if you don't, it won't actually accept the settings. So I'm going to hit the check mark there. I'm going to back out. All right. And now it's all set for 1 minute. And that is some tips on how to control the screen. 1 hour in, 1 hour and a minute in, I should say. The refrigerator is still being powered, and we have 76% battery. 1 hour in. Does that mean that we can go 4 hours with this refrigerator? Probably not. Again, because the compressor will kick on at certain points, but an hour and a minute in, and we're at 76%. And yeah, nothing's being used right now. You could see it's not using any power right now. So we'll continue to check. All right, we are 1.5 hours in. Is that something? An hour and a half in. We are still powering the refrigerator. What do we have? 64%. 64% an hour and a half in. Very nice. All right, I don't believe this. This thing is still running at 3 hours. It's insanity. I mean, look, refrigerator's still on. 3 hours. My. I mean, this tiny thing. And we have 41% left. It's got 46 watts, 45 watts. Is that insanity? This tiny thing, 3 hours, I've got 41% left. This is a nice little unit. 4 hour check. This thing's still running. It's still powering the refrigerator. It's crazy. 4 hours. And we still have 23% battery. 4 hours. When will this end? 5 hour check. I can't even believe that this runs this for 5 hours. Seriously, we still have power, and 5 hours and 1 minute. All right, what do we got? We have 9% battery left. Okay, 5 hours and 1 minute with 9% battery left. I am impressed with this little guy. Just imagine. All right, well, we almost made it to 5.5 hours, but this thing just turned off. It would have been 1 minute to make the 5.5 hours. And yes, that's not bad for this little guy. And just imagine, you know, even if you did 1 hour for your refrigerator, you plugged in some phones, maybe an LED light. It does have a small battery, but this thing is super portable. Not made for refrigerators, especially old ones, but I had to show you it. Almost 5.5 hours, pretty good. Can it power a 55-inch smart TV? Well, let's find out. All right, we're going to turn on the power button, and we'll see. I guess the wattage is going to start up here in a moment. All right, TV's starting to turn on. We've got 57 watts. All right, 50, 99, 100. So yeah, we're turned. There we go. We're on. And 99 watts. And it says with that load, it can run it for 2 hours. See that? 2 hours to run the TV because it's, again, 99 watts. Not bad. And then we got a picture of Brooklyn and we got a picture of sunshine. There you go. Well, this thing is dead. And we want to see how long it takes to charge. 0, 0. See that? So we're going to wait till 3:47, which is in like 3 seconds. And I'm going to plug this cord in. We're going to see how long it takes. 3:47. Let's see what type of wattage we get. And we'll see how long it takes to charge. All right, 50 watts, 85, 129. All right, 200. Supposed to be an hour to charge, by the way. 270. Max on this, I believe, is 320 watts on AC plug. So we're creeping up, and it's adjusting to 280 something. So we'll see. All right, 286 watts says 58 minutes to charge. So they're saying less than an hour. All right, 58 minutes. Well, 3:47 we started, so we'll check. 30-minute check. What kind of charge do we have? 57% in 30 minutes. Not bad. And they say 24 minutes remaining. So 30 minutes, 57%. All right, we are at an hour exactly, and it's almost 100%. And as you can see, it's slow charging now. It's only got 156 watts going in. So 99%. Now we're at 1 hour and 1 minute. And any second, this thing's going to tell me it's 100% charged. It's going to. I'm hoping that it will. All right, let's see. All right, 100% took us 1 hour and 1 minute to go 100%. There you go. I just wanted to make it easy for you. This is in the online manual. It's some storage and maintenance notes. Definitely take a look at this, especially on the bottom, on how you can maintain your battery health. Hit pause if you want to review it, but we're going to move on. All right, here's the image to the video we did on the older model, the River 2, versus this new model, the River 3. And I'm going to give you an opportunity to just click a link and go right in and watch this video. In the upper right-hand corner, I am going to put the word compared. And when that pops up, all you got to do is click it. And you can watch this video to see the differences between the older and the new model. I'll also have the link in the video description, and you can always rewind if you miss the word compared. But Here goes. Here's the word compared. Click on that and you'll be able to watch this video. All right. Well, good morning. We are in our backyard and we are about to do a quick solar test. And we just wanted to provide some information also. So as you can see, we've got our River 3. We have these solar cables that I'll put a link in the video description because they don't include solar cables. So you'll need these. And if you want, get some longer solar cable because you want to put the solar panel, kind of out in the grass. And you want to keep the power station kind of nearby in a nice shaded, cool area. So we'll put the links in the description for that. We're going to be using an EcoFlow 110 watt solar panel. It comes in a nice case that is also a kickstand. And the other thing, we have a solar angle guide. This is really helpful because it really helps you get the right angle so the solar panel produces even more power to charge your power station faster. So again, we'll put that in the description so you can pick up that. And then this is the disconnector tool. It actually disconnects the cables very easily, very inexpensive. So we'll include that, and I'll also demonstrate this. And of course, I'm going to demonstrate this. So let me give you some specs. And let me just tell you, if you're new to solar, you don't want to buy any solar panel and connect it to your power station. You do not want to do that. Why? Because you can damage the power station. So the power station has a certain type of spec that you need to meet in order to solar charge it. And so let's talk about that. So this River 3 can handle 110 watts max. And let's talk about the specs now. So 11 to 30 volt, and I'll have it on the left side of the screen. So 11 volts to 30 volts. So if you have a solar panel that's less than 11 volts, it won't work. If you have a solar panel that is more than 30 volts, you can damage the power station. So remember that. So you need to be within 11 to 30 volts. And 8 amps. All right, so that is for the River 3. Now let's talk about the panel we're using, and I'll tell you, you'll see that it's actually in the specs. So the panel we're using is an EcoFlow 110 watt portable lightweight solar panel, and it is producing about 21.8 volts. So as you can see, that is right inside of that 11 to 30 volts that the power station requires, right? And then the short circuit current is 6.5 amps. So we're fine, all right? Let's go ahead and set this up so you can see how it works. So here's a good look at the solar panel and how it gets set up. And you can see the case gets used as a kickstand. And we've got this solar angle guide right here, right? And I want you to notice, and it's going to be hard because I'm going to create a shadow, but what happens is the little dot right here in the front creates a shadow, and that shadow should be in the center of the bullseye, telling you you've got the best angle. Let me come around because I want you to see this. Here we go. This is better. So you'll see that shadow is in the upper right hand corner, and it really should be in the center. And when it's in the center, by the way, it disappears because the sun's glare makes it disappear. So I'm going to arrange this panel a little better real quick. So I adjusted the panel and I really got the best possible angle. As you can see, it's not completely in the center, but this is the best I could do with this type of panel. All right, so let's plug this thing in and see what it produces. Again, it's 110 watts. All right, so here's a solar cable, right, to connect to the power station. You'll see there's a positive and a negative. You can't make a mistake connecting these. So we're going to just connect this to this and push it in all the way. We need that full connection. We're going to do the same for this. And we don't want anything to block the solar panel, so we don't want the cable dangling or anything. So again, all the way in, right? And now we have the XT60 that gets plugged into the River 3. Let's do that. So on the right side, you just open up the panel and you can see here that this is going to go in nice and easy in here, right? We're just going to put that in, and we're going to immediately start to look at the screen. We want to see what we get. It's going to take a moment. There goes 7, 9, 23. That's not bad. We're getting 83 watts. 83, you know, it's going up and down. 60, 87. Wow. So let's see where it's all right, so we're about 86 watts, right? It says it'll take 3 hours to charge the power station from 15% to 100%. So keep that in mind. If we consistently get this wattage, which it can change, cloud, stuff like that, but 3 hours to charge the power station. We're getting 86 watts out of a 110 watt panel. And let me tell you, that's really good, by the way. You know, you're not going to get 110 watts, but to get 86 watts, and so 3 hours, we just leave this here now and we let it charge. And we're getting free charging. Well, of course, we bought a solar panel and a power station, but if you plug this into the wall, it uses your electricity. So there you go. That's our solar test there. All right, so how do we disconnect these? Well, you can see here there are 2 pins here that are really not too easy to get to. So what we do is we take this tool, we're going to put this on the bottom like this. So you see that? You see how it's now pushing up against the pins? And all we do now is disconnect. And that's it. All right, guys. Well, I sure hope the information in the video helped you. And if it did, do me a favor, take a moment and give us a thumbs up. I'd greatly appreciate it. By the way, share our video with your friends and your family if you could. If you want, follow us on social media. Our social media channels are right on top. Check out our new Tesla channel. Look us up on YouTube at My Tesla Journey 1. And I'm going to put a video on the right side of the screen. If you want to check that video out, click the video and check it out. And if you want to join our family and subscribe, we'll go ahead and click the round Tech Made Easy logo right there. You'll be able to subscribe and join the family. Guys, thank you so much and have a great day.